Alright guys, today we're going to solve equations with one variable. The biggest part is we are looking at a story and we have to create them, then solve them. So as you can see in the packet here, it says do not freak out. These are steps that we can use, and most of the problems that I will do in the examples will be the ones on your homework, just with different numbers. So as you can see, what you want to do first is read the problem and identify what you know. Then you want to determine what you are trying to find out. Drawing. Draw the picture so you can see what you're doing. Then you can figure out, hey, is there any formulas that we use that can help us? We're going to create the equation by using the formulas and the stuff that's in your problem. And then we will solve. So, this problem, by the way, you will take away doing this for years, especially if you're going into calculus. So, example 1. You want to create a custom border for a picture of you and your closest friends. The picture measures 5" by 7". What should be the width? So we're finding the width of the border of the frame, width of the border, if the final area is twice the area of the picture. Okay, so we know what we have, we know what we want. Next, we're going to draw. So here is my frame, and my picture is going to be inside. What we don't know is this border, the width of the border. So these values, since it's unknown, are our x's. I also want to label what's in here so we know that the picture measures 5 by 7. So remember, the inside is the picture. So this is 5 by 7. Okay, now let's talk about formulas. Well, it says find the area. So let's think about this. What is the area of the picture? So 7 times 5 is 35. With that, we know that the area that includes the border, okay, so area, and I'm going to put frame, equals twice the area of the picture. So twice 35 would be 70. Now what we need to do is say, how do we find the area of the frame? Well, the area of the frame is this distance on the bottom times this distance right here. Correct? So let's look at what we have. We have that this is 5, and then each of the borders here are x's. So this whole length is what? It is 2x plus 5. Now this length is 7 here, and we have another x and x for the frame, or the border. So that means that whole length is 2x plus 7. So really, we're looking at 2x plus 7 times 2x plus 5 equals 70. So we just set up our equation. Now we are going to solve. What I want you guys to do is solve with your calculator. Make it easier on yourselves. So, y equals, the first y1 is the left side of your equation, so let's do 2x plus 7 times 2x plus 5, and the second part, so y2, is 70. Graph. Now, of course, when I press graph, I don't see anything. Well, it's because your window is out. So we need to be around 70. So first of all, my max and my min for x is, well, we need x to be a positive number. So let's do -1 to, let's say, 12. So we get this big range of distance. And our y min, well, we want our y to be around 70 here. So let's do 5 below and 5 above. Okay, so see how 70 is right in the middle. Now we're going to graph. And we should be able to see where they intersect. So as you can see, we only have one intersection right there. We're going to go second trace, intersect, and we need to go to the first curve. So by the way, I pressed the down button so I could find my dot that's flashing, and I move really close to that intersection. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. We have that x equals 1.2. And let's go out 3 decimal places. So 1.213 inches. And that would be the width of the border, because that's what we are trying to find. If we wanted the width of the actual picture frame, then we would want to plug it back in. But this would be the width of the border. Let's go on to the next problem. Okay. The height of a plastic rectangular prism storage container is 4 inches shorter than the width. The length, so let's see, shorter than the width, and that is the height. The length is 7 inches longer than the width, and the volume is 5,304. We want to find the dimensions of the container. Alright, so let's draw. So I have a rectangular prism. Let's see if I can actually draw this container. See how good my skills are, guys. Okay. Now let me label the information we have. So the width. Everything is in terms of width. So I'm going to put W for our width. Our height is 4 inches shorter. What would that do? What would we do to the width to make it shorter? We would subtract 4. So the height is W minus 4. The length is 7 inches longer than the width. So longer would mean that we add. Alright, well, we know that the volume is 5,304. Well, how do you find volume of a rectangular prism? length times width times height. Well, we know that the length, width, and height are all three of these multiplied together. So let me set that up. So I'm going to multiply all three of these and set it equal to 5,304. Alright, ready? Let's get into our graphing calculator. Let's go to y equals. I'm going to put in x instead of w, guys. Because usually if you put in another variable, it won't work. So change those into x's. X plus 7. And then we have 5,304. Now before I graph, I know I'm going to have to change my window. Let's keep it as -112, and we're going to go a little bit above and a little bit below this. So let's do 5,500, and the other one will do 5,000 there. Okay, you guys see what I did for my window? Graph. Oh, something happened. Window range. Let's check it out. Oh, my min was bigger than my max. That can't happen. So 5,000 should go there. The 55 there. Now that looks good. And let's see where they intersect. And let's see. Well, apparently I don't see my other graph, right? So let me go back to window. Maybe 12 wasn't big enough. So let's try it. Let's double it and see what happens. There we go. Found it. Alright, so we are solving for, as you can see, W. So whatever we find our intersection at, we want to make sure that is the value of W. So I can't see that flashing dot, so I'm going to press down and then get close to it. 1, 2, 3. So the intersection's at 17. So our width is 17. Now let's remember our question here was what are the dimensions? So it's all of them. So if the width is 17, the height equals, well, the height is W minus 4. So what's 4 less than 17? 13. What about length? Length is 7 more, so that's 24. And don't forget the units. So we are in inches. Alright, let's go down to the next problem. So we have the equation t over a plus t over b equals 1, where a is the amount of time for A to complete the work alone, B is the amount of time of B to complete the work alone, and T is the amount of time for A and B to complete together. This can be used to find the amount of time required for work to be done. So always use this equation, guys, whenever you have something like Sally can paint the house in 5 hours and John can paint the same house in 10 hours. But if they work together, how long will it take them? Use this equation, this setup every time, okay? So let's look at the example. Britton can refinish the floors in 9 hours. So Britton can do it in 9 hours. Britton and Jason can refinish the floor in 4 hours. So this is when they both can do it. How long will it take Jason? So we want to know how long it takes Jason to do the floors by himself. Now, T, by the way, is the amount of time they work for them to do it together. So of course, they can finish the floor together in 4 hours. So that 4 goes in the numerator. Now I'm going to put Britton as A and Jason as B. So Britton can do it in 9 hours, and we're going to try to find how long Jason can do it in. So now we're going to solve this algebraically. The first thing you should see, guys, is that we have some fractions here. To add fractions, you must have a common denominator. So let's look at this denominator. Well, it looks like each of these, let's see, the first one looks like it's missing a B. And whatever we do at the bottom, we must do to the top. The second one looks like it's missing a 9. Whatever we do at the bottom, we must do to the top. And it looks like this third one is missing all of it. Alright, so that tells us we get 4b over 9b plus 36 over 9b equals 9b over 9b. Now, if you look, if we were to get rid of this 9b and multiplied it to everything, these would cancel. Okay? And look, this is now something we know how to solve. 4b plus 36 equals 9b. I'm going to move that 4b to the other side. So we get 36 equals 5b. And that means 36 over 5 is b. In conclusion, Jason will take 7.2 hours to do the floor by himself. Alright guys, the next page here we have a tugboat problem. I'm actually going to skip this right now, so on your homework, if you have anything that talks about distance, rate, and time, I want you to skip that problem on the homework. Thank you.